Hi, how you doing? My name is Shalise with Illuminerdi.com. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Awesome. I'm doing great. It's been a good day so far. First and
Nice.
foremost, I do thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to speak with me. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I'll jump right into it. So this particular film screams being a girl's girl, right? Like being like pro women and whatnot. If the roles were reversed, right? Like, do you think, oh, how do you think men would handle being in a situation like this?
Well, I think I that's a good question. No one's asked that question. It's a good one. I think in this particular instance, I think I'm not sure that men could get over their ego quickly enough to end up getting past the obvious complications and prickliness of how these two women are brought together to then ultimately work together. I'm not sure men's egos could handle that and get past it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like these women are able to see a bigger picture and ultimately find a connection and find a partnership that works and respects both of them.
Yeah, no, I agree. I kind of think that women are very, this situation would be a whole, I don't even know if it'll be a movie. It might be more like, instead of a thriller, it would be more like an action comedy. They're just kind of like going around just like killing people. Um, but this seems like something I can't see people like maybe doing in real life. I mean, there's so many stories about things like this happening. But if this were a real life situation, how would you handle it? Do you think you'd go to the extent that Joe and Sharon did, or do you maybe let the authorities handle it?
I think I would go with the authorities. I can't imagine myself ever walking into what looked like an abandoned warehouse to just suss things out. That would not be my choice. But I kudos to them. So impressive that they went for it. And I think ultimately it was born out of a need because they didn't feel like anyone was listening to them and anyone was trusting
Right.
what they were saying. And so they felt like they had no other options. And then of course they were entangled in it themselves. They're reaching out to Sharon and calling her and wanting her to do stuff. I still think if someone called me and was like, meet me at this crazy like warehouse at nighttime, I think I'd say, maybe not.
No, I
But by
agree.
that point, I think Sharon was so deep into it, she was like, okay, I guess so.
I think in real life, we always see movies like this and we're like, yeah, that's where I draw the line. Like I'm out of there when that happens. What differences would you say that you've seen from filming Double Life that you've experienced versus your previous work in your career?
Well, I think the main difference and the most obvious difference is the fact that it was a double female lead, two female protagonists. And that was unique to me, but I think it's unique in cinema, just period. You don't see that very often where a love story isn't a part of it. It's really about, I mean, if you're going to pick a love story, it's these two women becoming friends. That's the primary relationship. That's the primary push through the movie. And so that was unique for me and something that was really exciting for me to see this very complicated female relationship develop and unfold under these obviously very extreme circumstances in the movie.
Is this, since you speaking on female leads, is there anyone else that you'd like to work with in your career, whether it be female or male, but anyone in particular that you're looking to grow, whether it's a director, an actor, anything like that?
Oh my goodness, the list is long. The list is long. I think there's so many. I mean, there's females and males, but I mean, the list of females working right now are just so exciting and so phenomenal. I would love to work with Melissa McCarthy. I think she's walking that line between outrageous humor and vulnerability, which I always think is exciting. I would love to work with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who I think also does that, walks that line between the two. Emily Blunt is amazing. I just think there's a lot of amazing performers out there right now. Yeah.
No, I definitely agree. Those are some really good names. Is there any character that you'd like to bring to life, whether it's from a book or like a remake to a saga that you want to be a part of, like Lord of the Rings or like Harry Potter, anything that's like a dream come true for you?
my favorite role of all time, and I don't know if I would actually ever want to touch it because I think it's perfection just as it is, and I don't think you remake a perfect movie and a perfect character. But I love Patricia Arquette's Alabama Whirly from True Romance. That's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I think her performance is phenomenal. So that's my favorite performance, and it's more like, oh, I'm so sad that I didn't get to play that role, but I don't know if I would touch it now.
Yeah, like some things are better left alone, but then you're like, well, I could have maybe changed this here and there. So I
Yeah.
understand that. Is there anything that you took from filming Double Life that you may want to carry over into your like future shows or films?
I think one of the best things is my relationship with Javicia Leslie, who was my co-star in the movie. She's an amazing human being. She's an amazing actress, incredibly um, strong and powerful, but also vulnerable, very generous. And I loved working with her. I loved hanging out with her, and that friendship and that partnership is something that I hope to take forward with me. I would love to work with her again, and her and I are in conversations about like how can we find something where the two of us could work together again, because it worked so well.
Yeah, speaking of Javicia, obviously we know she was Batwoman. Is there
Yes.
any superhero that you've dreamed of playing, whether it's DC, Marvel, either of the two, or one on each side for them?
You know what? I'm not so well versed in the comic book world, but I had a recurring role on Smallville, which was the Superman story. And although they wouldn't have called me a superhero, I was from Krypton and I had superpowers. So I could fight really well and I could do that fast, that really speedy running that Clark Kent was always doing. And that was very fun. And so I have to imagine that any superhero where you get to do any of those stunts and kind of special skills that are unique to that any particular superhero would be a lot of fun.
No, yeah, that seems to be like the genre that everyone loves. That thinks just because of going on set, it seems like just a blast, doesn't really feel like.
Yeah.
Well, my final question is, since we're on the topic of movies, CinemaCon just wrapped up this week in Vegas, and they unveiled like all the big movies that are coming out from every platform this year. Is there any film that you're looking forward to this year, whether it's like Barbie or Oppenheimer or anything like that?
You know what? I honestly haven't been following it that clearly, like all the new movies that are coming out. What one are you most like looking forward to?
I am looking forward to Wonka because I'm a big Timothée Chalamet fan.
Oh,
Yeah.
who isn't?
Yeah. I adore him, and I've also liked the Johnny Depp version and then Gene Wilder. So to see a prequel to something, I don't even think I would have thought what life was before he met the Oompa Loompas. But
So is that what the premise is? It's like pre the fact, like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's pre that. It's where he creates it, creates
yeah.
the. Oh,
And that's what I thought.
well,
No
that's a
one,
really
no
cool
one
story.
ever sat down and be like, I want to see a prequel of Wonka. So when it came out with this, I was like, okay, we've already got this twice, guys. And the Johnny Depp one wasn't even that long ago. But when they said it was a prequel, I was like, okay, I'm in.
So have you seen the trailer for it?
So that's the thing. They haven't released a trailer. There's no footage or nothing, but they unveiled like a small sizzle reel at CinemaCon this weekend. And there's no cameras or any phones allowed. So it was, only people there.
I've seen recently online the image of Timothée Chalamet as Willy Wonka, and he looks fantastic. Yeah, but I hadn't seen any footage or anything. Oh, well, that's really cool. Now I'm looking forward to that movie too.
See, yeah, okay, so I'm glad we got that. Well, thank you so much for your time. I think this was a really great film, and I really can't wait to see what you do next. So I hope to talk with you again in other interviews.